Hello everyone. For today's lesson, we will talk about Boolean logic. In the previous lesson, I talked about if statement, how to use the if statement. Okay, so what's the difference between the Boolean logic and the if statement? Before I do that, I want to make you aware that all what you're doing is what taking decision, okay, in your code, how to make decision in your code, and this is really important. You're gonna use this one throughout your entire journey of JavaScript in your code. Okay, so what is a Boolean logic? Okay, and as it says on line 35, it says that it deals with true or false values. Okay, and we have these the most common ones are the AND operator, the OR operator, and the NOT operator. Okay, so before that, let me give you a practical example that assuming a certain company want to create an app for their club, and the club is called iNovo. Okay, and the app will check if the person's age is greater than 18 but less than 30. Print to the console, you are allowed to enter. Otherwise, print to the console, you are not allowed to enter. Okay, so if you're using the if statement, you cannot use check between age of 18 to 30. Yes, you cannot use that one. That's where Boolean logic comes to place. Okay, so let's see how all these things works. Okay, so Boolean logic uses what is called an if statement. So for example, let's declare a variable here, say var, and say age is equal to 18. Okay, so this is the age must be equal or more than what 18 but less than 30. Okay, so we are going to compare these two conditions. Okay, when it evaluates to true, then the code will run. So the first is what we say the if statement here and your bracket, and in here is your condition. Okay, for the if statement, the first one we did was about using only one condition. Okay, so it's able to use two conditions. We're going to use what is called the Boolean logic, and this Boolean logic takes what is called the AND, OR, and the NOT operator. Okay, so before that, I will say that the AND operator, if the two conditions are true, then it means true. But if one is true and other one is false, then the condition will be returned as what? False. But for OR, if one of the conditions is true, it will return what? True. And the NOT is used to invert. If it's true, then to be false. If false, true. Okay, so back to this code. So what we are going to do is that here you see you will display to the console. So here we will check for age. Okay, the age must be greater, okay, or equal to 18, right? Like so. And okay, because you want to evaluate the two conditions to be true, and age must be less than or equal to 30. Okay, so if that's the case, now see, does these conditions return true? Oh yes, because the age here is 18, which is less than or equal to 18, greater than 18, sure, and the same age here is what? Less than or equal to what? 30, which is in our question. So let's see, let's display just to the console that yes, you are allowed to enter. Okay, so let's see, go to the browser, refresh it, and see, yes, you are allowed to enter because the conditions here returns what? True. This line of code here. So now let's check this age to be, let's say, 20. So this one is 20, it means 20 is greater or equal to 18, which is true, and age here is also less than or equal to 30, which is true. So let's go to the browser and refresh. True. But when we say below 18, which is 17 years, okay, even though this one age is what? This one return true, but this one is what? False. Sorry, this one will return false, but this one return true. Otherwise, since one of the conditions returns false, it makes the whole logic here false. Therefore, this code will never run. So let's see in our browser, refresh it, and you see nothing is displayed. Okay, so let's use the else. If none of the condition matches, then you will say that console.log, you are not allowed to enter. Okay, so let's see what will happen. Definitely you see you are not allowed to enter. So the take note here is that when one condition returns false for the end operator, the rest of the conditions becomes false, otherwise it will run. So if you make here less than 18 here and say even 21 years, then you are allowed to what? Enter, exactly as I was talking about. So that is what is called the Boolean logic. So now let's make use of the OR operator. Okay, so we can say that instead of and, we can say OR. Okay, let me make a next example. Let me comment this one and say var name is equal to, let me say Emma. Okay, like so. Then the condition says that if name is equal to Emma or name is equal to Ben. Okay, so for the OR operator, what it's doing is that when one is true and other one is false, it means true. So let's say console.log, let's say yes, it is true. Okay, yes, it is true. So let's see what will happen. I think you see yes, it is true. Yes, but because name here is not, okay, let me make another one, say var name 2, okay, is equal to, let's say Ben. Okay, so I'll say here name 2 is equal to, let's say Josh. Okay, because name 2 is not Josh but it's Ben, but since one is true, it make the condition what? True, and we say yeah, it's true. Okay, but when we say here Emma, instead of Emma I will say let's say I'll call this one, let's say Linda. Okay, let's see. So for us, both conditions return false. One of them is not true. The whole of these conditions returns what is called false. Okay, so for the OR operator, when one condition is true, then the other one will be true. So else, let me give always the else statement. If nothing matches, then this code will run. Okay, I will say here false. Okay, so here I'll make this one Linda. Okay, and we see we have yes, it's true. Okay, exactly. So for the not operator, okay, so it just reverses true to false. Okay, so let's say var age is equal to true. Okay, true. So let's say if here I'll say age, which is true. Okay, then console.log, yeah, this is true. Okay, or else I will say console.log, okay, I will say this is false. Okay, so now let me comment this example here and let's see what will happen. You will see yes, it is true because age is true. Okay, but when I bring in the not operator, it returns false. Therefore, which code will run? Here, line 61 will run, which is this is false. So it returns false to true and true to false. So basically, that is how the Boolean logic